On the bench today, I have my first TurboGrafx-16, and this is one of two faulty TurboGrafx-16s that I recently bought from eBay to try and fix here on the channel. Now, this is a bit of an exotic console to me. I've never seen one in real life, never gamed on it. I don't even think I was aware of it when I was a kid growing up. So I'm really excited to get my hands on a pair of these, and I'm really looking forward to seeing if I can get one working and enjoy it as an adult. Let's go ahead and open this guy up. All right, guys, here we are. So basically we have the console, the multi-tap or the turbo tap, 2 controllers, and 6 games, I believe. 4 that are in their cases and 2 that are just loose cards. Now, this was an auction style listing, and I ended up getting this particular unit for $200 shipped. We have the complete package here minus the power adapter. And granted, none of these games are collectible or anything like that, but I've seen working consoles with no games go for around $250 and up, depending on what else is included. But all that aside, I'm just excited to have one of these and get it working for myself. You might be tempted to think that this melted plastic scar is from a soldering iron or something like that, but this usually happens when you wrap cables around these old consoles. Something in the chemistry of the cords reacts with the plastic, and if left like that for a long time, it causes these kind of marks. It is kind of odd that they chose to make this a 5-player multiplayer. Most multi-taps tend to be for 4 players. Now, you'll notice that there's no power adapter with this console, and listings like that are always more attractive to me because there's a higher likelihood that it is indeed an untested console. I have my Neo Geo power supply ready to go. This is a high quality aftermarket power supply that I got for my Neo Geo. The important thing is that it is center negative. I think this console originally takes 10 volts or 10.5 volts, something like that. Yeah, it says right here. 10.5 volts and center negative. Running this on 9 volts, I think that's going to be okay. Everything should be regulated down to 5 volts inside the console anyway. The important thing is that it's center negative. Now, I've experienced this a couple of times already with center negative systems like the Neo Geo and the Atari Jaguar. I bought them untested and there was nothing wrong with them. That was the case for 2 out of 5 of the Neo Geos that I bought and the Atari Jaguar that I took a pretty big gamble on, given how expensive that console was. So when you come across a console like this, always pay attention to the polarity. Center negative is not common today, but it was much more common 30 years ago when these consoles came out. So if you have a power supply from any of the early Segas, the Master System, the Genesis Model 1, or the Sega CD, that would work to test this guy out as well. While I could test the system over RF, in anticipation of this project, I went ahead and purchased this AV adapter that's going to let me connect the system over composite video instead. All right, guys, let's go ahead and hook this thing up. And I'm just going to try this first card. And let me rotate that camera so you guys can see. All right, guys, let's turn this thing on and see what happens. And we have a picture. I'd say I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. And controls are working just fine. This is automatically turned into an amazing deal. I'm going to quickly go ahead and just cycle through the rest of these games and just make sure that they all do indeed work as well.
few minutes later...
All right, let's not get sidetracked. I can already tell that's going to be a super fun game. I've never played it before. And everyone's favorite, the sports games. These tend to be the lower value games in almost any system. So the only thing that this system needs is a cleaning. It's otherwise in perfectly working condition. I still haven't tested the multi-tap or the second controller, but I don't see why those would have any issue. I can always test them off camera. I hope you enjoyed not watching me fix anything today. I'm going to go ahead and grab the second TurboGrafx-16 that I bought off eBay, and we'll take a look at it together. I was not planning on doing both consoles in the same video, but I've set aside the whole afternoon to work on this project, and I've only been recording for like 30 minutes. So let's take a look at it and see what we got. We have a repackaged Prime shipping box here for all you guys that are not from the US. So something that I thought was a little bit odd when I got this console was that it weighs about 3 pounds and the label says that it weighs 16 ounces. The only reason that the seller would have done that is so that it would qualify for a first class package, which is a less expensive shipping service than Priority. Nothing above 1 pound can ship first class. So bit of a red flag. I don't know what this person's circumstances are, but it's always risky when you do something like that. You always risk the package getting sent back. It could get lost, and good luck finding it if something like that happens and the package was misplaced. All right. You'll notice that I also picked another unit that does not include the power adapter. This comes with 1 game and 1 controller. So no second controller, no multi-tap. And I think this was just over $100, like $115, $120, something like that. So it was quite a bit cheaper than the other listing. And I was kind of happy that this one had this cover on the back, so that I at least have one of them that has the cover. It doesn't impact the functionality of the console in any way, so it's just purely cosmetic. All right, let's plug this guy in and test it out. So I'll just use the game that came with it and the controller that it shipped with. All right, let's switch you guys over. All right, if this guy works, it's not going to be much of a repair video, so let's find out. And it's working. You really can't make this stuff up. Controls are working just fine too. Well, there you have it, guys. For parts or not working from eBay. I will admit I'm perhaps a little bit bummed out that at least one of them didn't require tearing it down and trying to figure out what might be wrong with it, but it's just the luck of the draw. So I think what I'd like to do is buy a couple more of these, and this time specifically buy ones that have been tested non-working. Now that I have 2 working consoles, I'll have reference values if I need them. I have all the peripherals, so I can buy perhaps non-working consoles that are just the bare bones console and not have to spend as much as I would have if it was a bundle like this. As for these guys, I think I'm just going to give them a cleaning, and the game cases are really irking me. All the covers are broken and they're just cracked and really scratched up. So let's see what we can do about these game cases. So this screw for the voltage regulator does not need to come off. Let's put that back on. So the case isn't that bad. Most of the dirt is, I guess, as you would expect by the card slot. So I'm going to take this down to the garage and blow some compressed air, maybe try and get it from this side to blow most of it out. And then we'll spray some contact cleaner in there just for some good measure. Maybe it's a good thing we're washing these from the inside because I'm pretty sure that's a small dead cockroach of some sort. There's another dead bug right here. So we'll give these guys a good cleaning. All right, so the case is almost done drying and the main boards are dusted off. And the only thing I still want to do is get some contact cleaner on the connectors. So here I have a pipe cleaner and let's just cut that into a few pieces. So this is for the controller port. And we'll just use this to make sure we clean the contacts. All right. All right, so this is the case that was scarred. Let's get that power switch on there before we slide it in. Then we'll slide in the power connector into its receiving groove. And the first thing to go on are the cartridge screws. And just a spray of IPA to get some of these fingerprints off. And finally, the bottom case. Now, if you're like me, you have a box of brand new jewel cases just laying around for an occasion such as this one. So let's steal a few of these covers to clean up these games. So we'll have to keep the bottom cases because those are unique to the TurboGrafx with the slot for the card. But we can replace these nasty looking front covers. And last one. This is just a plastic razor blade. It's not very sharp. You're not going to cut yourself with this, but it is good for things like this. Oh man, that looks amazing. Alright guys, we have reached the end of this journey. We have two untested TurboGrafx-16s from eBay that have been fully refurbished. There wasn't really much to repair in this exercise, just had to clean the consoles out and bundle them with the right power adapters. We also have 7 working game cards, 2 of which are duplicates, and all the accessories work, all 3 controllers and the Turbo Tap. I wanted to share a few closing thoughts with you guys, and the first is just regarding RF on these consoles. It crossed my mind that someone might be wondering whether they were perhaps listed as non-working because they weren't displaying an image over RF, and the seller didn't have access to one of these aftermarket adapters or the official turbo booster adapter to test them over composite. But both systems do indeed output an image over RF. I tested them both off camera. They work just fine. So the issue is just the lack of a power adapter in this particular case. Now, regarding buying untested consoles from eBay, my wife was actually a little bit puzzled why I was a little bit disappointed that I got 2 working consoles, and that's because I enjoy recording repair videos. These 2 bundles turned out to be one hell of a deal. There's no denying that. That's not to say that if you went and bought a pair of untested consoles on eBay that you would get the same result. This is a good segue into talking about my website, borderlineocd.com. I have a shop on there where I've just been selling t-shirts, mouse pads, things like that. But given the outcome of this project, I'm going to be listing one of these systems on my shop. So if you'd like to pick up a refurbished TurboGrafx-16 and help the channel out, head on over to the shop and check it out. I don't really list consoles on there all that often. Most of what I fix here is for my own collection. But in this particular case, I would like to get rid of one of these and just buy a pair of non-working ones so that we can fix them here on the channel together. And speaking of the shop, the Shake It Baby t-shirt has been the most popular by a long shot. One of you guys asked me if I could sell the design on a mouse pad. So I've listed a Shake It Baby mouse pad on the shop as well. And last but certainly not least, we're finally doing the Game Gear giveaway. So this is the giveaway from the previous episode, episode 3 of the Game Gear Repairathon, and the unit's been fully recapped. It's going to come with 1 game, a brand new housing, and a brand new glass lens. This time the giveaway is going to run for 3 days, and like previous giveaways, I'm going to ship worldwide. But unlike previous giveaways, I will not be creating a separate video announcing the winner. There's just too much overhead in creating a separate video for that, and I'd rather be recording my next project. So just to keep it low fuss, I'm going to announce the winner on my community page, but I'm going to draw the winner pretty much the same way that I've done in all my previous giveaways. So I hope by now you guys know that my giveaways are legit and you can trust them. Head on over to contests and giveaways on borderlineocd.com and stay tuned for a post in 3 days on the community page to see if you've won. So that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Good luck to everyone, and I will see you guys again soon. Take care.